My advice is twofold. Seek help from places like the Vitale Digital Media Lab, but to really think about what it is you want your students to get out of this. While we're all talking about the surprises, the things that we didn't know the students would get out of it, at the same time, there are projects that fit better than others. Not every class should be making a remix trailer. There are podcasts, there are morphing programs that are available so that you could show the changing picture of something over time. There are virtual reality programs. So really think about what you want to do, and if you talk to somebody who has done these sorts of projects or go to somewhere like the Media Lab, they will show you a world of possibilities. So you can think about that. So I guess also start early.
I do believe you need to know how to do these things, to know this range of options that you can offer your students and to help them along the way. I have a media production background, so I'm completely comfortable with it, but I can understand that if you don't, it could be really intimidating. And my advice is to learn how to do some of these things by coming to the library and using the resources here, but also to just get online and look at hundreds and hundreds of videos. That's how you see what people are interested in, what are the common forms of video communication or image communication today, and to know how to assess things.
You know, I think many of us and many of our colleagues have used film in classes. But if your experience is like mine, I have often encountered or have used a film in class, but have wished it would have moved in this direction rather than in that direction, or that I feel like it made 3 of the 4 points that needed to be made about the topic, but not the 4th point. I found in my conversations with colleagues that if I can engage them about the ways in which they may have used film in their own classes and how those films have proved advantageous but have fallen short in some way, that's a wonderful moment to say, well, why don't we make a film that addresses that other point? Or why don't you have your students critique the film that you've used and have them make a film that would supplement the film that you're already showing? So that's another way in.
We started with the Documentaries in the Law project, and we have amassed a very comprehensive library of documentary films, most of which relate to the law, some of which don't. And I encourage my colleagues to show films. And if I come across a film that I think would be of interest to a colleague, I pass the title along. So we start with documentaries. We work on lawyers, trying to convince them that visual legal advocacy is important. It is something that their clients need, and it is something that they need to know how to do. The world is changing, and institutions of higher education are also changing. There's a whole lot of talk about branding and getting your name out and being a player in the public sphere, and I think that video is an important tool.
So I don't know if I would call it an essential part of expression in writing, but it's definitely a potential component. Digital writing, there's so much writing that's happening that crosses boundaries, blogging and including streaming video, that there is already an obvious overlap, and it's just, take for example, when you look at ancient Roman literature, right, people didn't speak the way that they wrote. It's a separate language, and what we've been teaching students in the classroom, traditional writing, probably bears a similar relationship. And in asking them to engage in forms of digital writing is probably bringing the formal classroom writing closer to spoken conversation.